Okay, how excited am I to have my favorite person in the entire lending world back with us today, Dan Gjeldum, Guaranteed Rate. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me again. It's a pleasure to be here.
I cannot believe that we're as far into this year as we were. We're really starting to see all the good data come out from Q1 2024. In your opinion, give me a little bit of a snapshot of how did Q1 2024 compare to Q1 2023?
2024 is definitely, there's more certainty, right, with what's going on with rates. In a way, people know they're going to go down.
Because
right?
I some days feel clueless.
No, trust me, 2 days ago, totally clueless. But people have a sense of where things are going, and they're more and more comfortable. Every day that goes by, people are more and more comfortable with where rates are, right? So people are out looking. I think you can attest, showings have twice as many or 3 times as many people. The number of multiple offer situations are insane, right? People are paying a lot of markets around the country. People are paying over market still. So it's a lot busier. And I think it's just the whole mindset is more accepting of everything that's going on.
Well, and I think, tell me if you think I'm wrong. At the end of last year, end of 2023, fall and winter, we saw a lot of ugly rates. We saw things starting with 8s.
Absolutely.
So now that we're inching down, we're closer to 7%. We're seeing some things that actually start with a 6. Like, I think people forget what a win that feels like.
Yeah, for sure. And back when they were touching 8, right, then it was people were saying, well, they're going to get to 7, so we can always refi at that point. But yeah, the numbers starting with 7s are great. As you mentioned, we're seeing 6s. And there was a point where we saw really like mid to low 6s for first-time homebuyer programs, things like that. FHA, VA loans, all of that stuff. FHA and VA typically have lower interest rates than conventional financing anyways. So when we see 6s, it's kind of all right, we're at, let's just say 6.75. It's like, all right, buyers are, all right, hurry up and go. Let's go find something, right? So they can jump in.
Now, I know you guys measure a lot of your traffic through the pre-approvals you're doing. Would you say pre-approvals this year, Q1, are up or down compared to the last?
That's a tough question because and it's hard for me to, like, pre-approvals last year, some of them just disappeared, right? They didn't buy, and I'll get emails now and it's like, oh my God, I totally forgot about you because we had one client go contract this week.
We don't forget about anybody. It just goes to a darker place in the brain that needs to get revamped.
Yes, great point. So I was reminded of a client that we originally spoke to in 2022, more than 2 years ago, that finally are now under contract for a new house. So, it's definitely busier. I mean, my March was twice as good, if not 3 times as good as last year's March in terms of closed loans and new applications and stuff. So we're moving in the right direction. It's really fun again, because it really, a year ago, 16, 18 months ago, it wasn't that fun because it was so stressful with the uncertainty that now it's getting to be fun again and people are excited.
It's definitely easier to advise and counsel on it. There's still a lot of unknowns. I'm not going to share the sentiment of fun with Dan because on our realm of it, there's still a lot of headwind, which isn't as fun for us. But I get what you're saying is it's nice to be able to advise, counsel, and have a more clear idea of what we think is going to happen. Would you say that, and I know this is a loaded question, do you think that rates have performed as expected so far this year? And on the same token, have any of your longer term thoughts and projections changed?
They have not performed as people thought. At the start of the year, they were predicting 6 Fed rate cuts. It's gotten progressively lower. Just last, there was three cuts were coming. Now we're at 2 cuts coming. The timing of the cuts are totally different. They thought we'd see cuts in potentially May. Back in December, they thought maybe May would be the first, and then very quickly after that, May's out the window, June's out the window, July's out the window. Now they're thinking 2 cuts starting in September. And at the September timeline, there's only 3 meetings. It's September, November, December. So they're thinking 2 cuts in that window right now. There's people out there who think there's going to be no cuts, right? So the data that's been coming out inflation-wise is extremely confusing because when you dive into the numbers, there's certain pieces of it that skew it higher. and there's pieces that, skew it lower.
No, it's a quite the mess. It's quite the roller coaster. That's why we appreciate having you to digest that a little bit better for us.